What's up, everybody? It's Frederick Douglass Bussey here, Keys to $1 Million Business. Once again, we are live on Facebook, YouTube. If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you're subscribing, like us, like this video, thumbs up. Please share it with those who find it valuable. If you're watching this in the Seven Figure Circle $1 Million Mastermind group, make sure you drop a live or replay, hashtag live or hashtag replay to let us know where you're chiming in from. And if you're just on my page right now or on one of our business pages, then obviously we love to hear from you. If you have any questions about today's topic, today we're going to be talking again about time, but we're going to be talking about a couple of different aspects of it, two sides of the same coin, if you will. So anytime you engage in an activity, you are going to have to either think about the cost of of not doing it or the reward of what it is going to bring you. And so we want to talk a little bit about those two concepts today on the flip side. So that being said, let's go to work. All right, I want to make sure you can hear me. If you can, put a thumbs up, like in the chat. Let me know what your thoughts are, questions or whatever. So we want to talk today about if you are running a business and you are doing 20K to 50K, somewhere in that nature, right? There are things that you are always having to come up against and you're bumping your head up against. One of the complaints that I hear from a lot of clients, a lot of entrepreneurs, is that they just don't have enough time to do all the things in their business, right? We talked a little bit about that yesterday. If you didn't get a chance to watch that video, go back and check it out. But one of the things I want to talk about is the two aspects of the reward side of doing the work, and then one aspect of what it costs you when you don't do things consistently. And one of the things that happens very often when we have too much work to do in our businesses is that we don't get enough of the right things done. And oftentimes we can lose sight of what those right things are. Well, what's the value? And so today I want to talk about two things, which is consistency and luxury. Now, luxury is not the way that we're thinking about it, but we'll get to that in a second. Consistency. And people often think of consistency. What does consistency mean? Consistency consists of doing the same thing over and over and over again. And I love this, one of my favorite quotes by Gary Keller, who's the billionaire founder of Keller Williams Realty. He always talks about this one thing, which is simply that he talks about the fact that consistency is one of the hardest things to maintain because most people are not able to endure the monotony of success, because consistency is monotonous. As human beings, we are conditioned and we are intrigued by novelty. We love seeing new things, right? That's one of the things that makes social media so enchanting, is because we can always go there for a dopamine hit of something new. And so even if when you're building a business, one of the challenges is that you'll see entrepreneurs who say, well, I'm a serial entrepreneur. They're always off building new things because it's fun to build new things, right? And so when you're engaged in that kind of stuff, it's very difficult to, once the luster wears off, it's like a relationship, when it's brand new and fresh and you're in love with that person, you can't wait to see them. And then over time, if you see them wearing the same clothes every day, doing the same things every day, you're spending the same amount of time having the same conversations, it becomes monotonous. And so many of us have those relationships with our businesses. And one of the things that clarity around our business allows us to do is to be more consistent. And so when we have the consistency, what happens is that we are able to create predictable results. And one of the things that frustrates a lot of people is because when they're in their businesses and you're working from day to day and you're not seeing the results come as fast as you would like, and you're trying to get everything done, you're trying to pack your day in and knock out all the things on your to-do list. What happens is that you find yourself being challenged to continuously stay at those things that you need to do, right? So whether it's sending out emails or finding leads or sending messages or packing labels or working on your product, whatever the case may be, getting sales, whatever it is, to do those same things over and over and over again can become monotonous. And so the thing that we have to remember is that when you are focused on the consistency of your action, then you can create a predictable outcome over and over again. It's just like with anything in the world. If I go out and I eat potato chips and French fries every day for lunch, and I never work out, but I continuously do this every day at the same time, I'm going to have an effect on my body. It's going to show up in my gut. It's going to show up in my weight. It's going to show up in my energy level, etc. If I continuously do that. Now, we all know that if we work out for 30 minutes to an hour every single day, you're not going to put on weight. You're going to lose weight. You're going to be in shape, etc. But when you first do it, right, you don't feel that effect. You feel sore, but you don't feel it. And then if you do it inconsistently, it's hard to see the results. So what is a challenge? Is the challenge actually working out, or is the challenge working out consistently, right? Because it is not the workout that creates the results. It is the consistency of the workout that creates the results. And so when we can do things consistently in our businesses, it creates consistent results. Now we know this, right? But what happens is that because we are challenged by novelty and we want something new, and we get bored doing the same things, and we get bored when we're focused on the outcomes and the outcome doesn't come as quickly as we like, then we get frustrated. And so the frustration breaks down our motivation, and the motivation breaks down our consistency, because now we have to get motivated to get into the action. And I'll talk a little bit more in another video about why motivation is not necessary to be consistent, right? That's not the thing that we need to focus on. But right now we want to talk about the fact that consistency creates the results that we absolutely want. The second thing I want to talk about, though, is luxury, and specifically the luxury of time. Now, what does that mean? That means that when I have the advantage, right? And when I talk about luxury, I'm really talking about advantage. Put that down here. Advantage means that I have an edge. And here's the edge and how it relates to consistency. Because my advantage is that I know that if I can take a longer period of time, if I can afford to take a longer period of time to create a result, then I can afford to stay consistent with that thing, because I know that's going to work. I'll give you an example. We know that the law of 72, when it comes to investing, talks about the fact that it takes roughly 7 years to invest a certain amount of money consistently every month. It will double your money, right? Which means that if I have a goal, the longer I can afford to get to that goal, and the longer I can continuously pour into that consistently, I'm going to get a certain result. Which means that if I can afford to do it for 10 years and you can only afford to do it for a year, I'm going to win because I have the luxury of time, right? So if I don't have to be in shape, I'll reverse it, put it this way. So let's say that I want to be an NBA basketball player, right? And so if I had that dream at 5 years old, and you wake up one day and you're 15 years old and you have that dream, and we have equal amounts of talent, skill, body size, or whatever, then who do you think is going to have a better chance of making that goal? Me or you, right? I will, because I have the luxury of 10 years knowing what I want to do, right? I know that I'm going to invest that time to be able to eat right. I'm going to work on these skills. I'm going to get better. And I have the luxury of being able to watch you 10 years ahead of me to know where I want to be and how much further ahead I need to be in order to get where I want to go. So when you can afford that, what most small businesses do not afford is they don't have the luxury of time. And that luxury is one that we can give ourselves, because by being able to cast a wider perspective, a longer term perspective, then we're able to create exponentially more powerful results. Remember, consistency means that I'm going to do the same thing month after month after month after month after month, day after day after day after day after day, which means I'm going to continually get those results. So if I put that time in day after day after day, then my results compound. We talked about the law of 72. Why is that? It's because it doesn't just add up, it gets exponential. We talked about this in the video before. We're talking about we don't want to do addition, we want to do multiplication. But multiplication comes because we can do the repetitive work of day after day after day, creating that consistent input to get the consistent output. In the video yesterday, we talked about the fact that if you want to make $1 million in your business, you need to be doing the equivalent of $520.83 an hour, right? And that every hour that you don't spend making that amount of money is an hour that you have to make up in addition. But when you can do that consistently, hour after hour after hour, day after day after day after day, month after month after month after month, you are able to create consistent results. And here's the real key about all of this stuff, is that when your business is a real business, and it's not just you as a solopreneur, but you've got the systems, the efficiencies, the team, the mindset, the influence, the reach, all the things that you need to be able to build this business around, you have created a true vehicle that's going to allow you to be consistent, and you have the luxury of time to go further and further, right? Which means that now you can set that bar higher, and you can actually change the parameters around how you think about doing things from day to day to day. So hopefully that's valuable for you. Drop some questions. If you have any questions in the comments, drop a replay, #replay, let me know what your thoughts are. But what we want to do is we want to be able to build a business that gives us the power of consistency, right? So we remove the trappings of emotion that make us get frustrated, because we know we can consistently do the same things day after day after day. And then now we have the luxury of time, because I don't have to make this thing happen today. One of the biggest challenges that many entrepreneurs face, business owners face, is that a lot of times we start a business because we have to. It's a hustle. It's a side gig. It's something that we're trying to work on to create a different outcome for ourselves and be able just to pay the bills. But when you can do more than just pay the bills, as my assistant comes in, you're saying hi to everybody. So as we are doing more to be able to pay the bills, these things hold us back, right? Because we're not able to focus on the long-term goal. But if I can start a business today and I don't have to struggle, right? If I start a business today and I don't have to just pay the bills, thanks, Kat. Yes, she's cute. If I don't have to, right? And I know that I have the luxury of being able to take a year, 5 years, 10 years to build this business to a certain level, it actually creates a more margin for me. And now I have a greater margin of error. I can make better choices. I don't have the same amount of pressure. And so there are ways that we can shift our focus and our mindset to give ourselves the luxury of time over time. And that's the advantage that we have. And so instead of panicking, I can afford to be consistent. And that's one of the things that really happens for a lot of us, is that we get inconsistent because we're trying to make something work because we need it to work now. And what you can do is, when you lay the right foundation and you're able to multiply on the right foundation, now you're not building a sandcastle, you're building a skyscraper. Thank you very much, man. All right. All right. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like, subscribe, share this video with anyone that you feel like it would benefit. Send us a message. Let us know if there's a way that we can help you in your business, so that we can continue to impact more entrepreneurs and do even more. As always, I'm Frederick Douglass Bussey. It's been Keys to $1 Million Business. Ever forward.